How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Culture Wave Media, where we resume our coverage of The Boys' final season, season 5. Today we're covering episode 5, right? Episode 5?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, well, I'm with Vinny, as I just spoiled. Vinny Albano, and I'm Sean Villa, and we are going to discuss this episode. I think that we fall on different sides of the fence about the feelings to this episode, and Instagram and YouTube is going to get mad at me because they're going to call me a contrarian, because I saw a lot of very negative buzz around this episode specifically, whereas I've been very negative about the season overall. And I got to say that I actually really like this episode. I don't think it's high art. I don't think it's necessarily a great episode objectively, but for what I've been presented up until this point in the season, it very well might be my favorite of the season. And I know you differ, so what do you think?
Yeah, that's a big statement, I think. I feel very opposite, to be honest. I think there are good elements of this episode. I liked a lot of what they were doing with Black Noir, but then that goes into a direction that feels pointless again, where we're going back. We're just circling. It feels like this entire season. It feels like we've just been circling the same ideas, the same things that we've been doing for the past 4 seasons, right? And by the time the Black Noir segment wrapped up, it just felt like we were circling again. The firecracker stuff, I think that's the better half. I think it's a little weird at points, but we'll get into that. All the other stuff, not a fan of. Not a fan of the terror section of the of the video. I think the main gag is funny at first, but then they repeat it. It immediately doesn't become funny anymore. And the resolution between Butcher and Huey doesn't feel earned. And yeah, the rest of the episode, the stuff with Homelander and Soldier Boy just seemed like a cameo fest that also didn't really feel earned, that resolution between their two characters. So I felt very meh about this whole episode, to be honest.
I think that's totally fair. I do have a lot of the same issues with this episode, I think, as you. I think I just kind of point to it more as an issue of the season overall and like the show's kind of arcs not making sense in the first place for me, more so than it is the execution of the episode. Like, I think that the way this episode goes about constructing these scenes, stylistically and I guess structurally first is the first thing I want to talk about, is really fun. It's a nice change of pace, because my big complaint has been that every episode of this of the show kind of feels the same, where we're in a very specific POV. We're going to intrude on like one A plot, Homelander's got his B plot, and then like we'll have something with the Deep or A Train or Firecracker, dependent on the episode. Sage, right? Any of these people. This episode actually lets us kind of follow one person for an extended period of time, a segment of the episode. And I was really amazed at how much just that very simple change made me care about these characters so much more than the way that they normally edit the show together. I thought that was really fascinating to me. Like, I never would have thought that I would give a shit about Firecracker. And by the end of this episode, I really cared. I thought, like, wow, they really built her up as, like, an intriguing character. They gave her some weight. At the same time, I think when they do that, which is really great for Firecracker, and to an extent Black Noir, I think he gets some interesting stuff here, a little bit more pizzazz, characterization. I think they do almost the exact opposite for Sister Sage. That's my least favorite part of this episode. Unless she's lying to Ashley, we're full spoilers now, click off, I don't like her plan, what she tells Ashley, of like, yep, I just want the world to go to crap, and then I'm going to read my book in a bunker. That's really stupid. I don't like that at all. But what do you think about that specific beat, I guess?
Yeah, it's just the thing with Sister Sage, and we've said this on the previous podcast, most intelligent person in the world. What's her big plan? What is her big plan? She's clearly trying to manipulate Homelander for the past 2 seasons into a certain path where she can either take out Homelander or whatever. If she's lying, or sorry, if she's telling the truth in that, it just is like, oh, okay, right? Because that's her whole plan. Her whole plan is just to like. There's no plan actually. Her whole plan is just to let things go about. The Soups lose, and she could just chill. That's her whole plan. Like that doesn't feel
Yeah.
rewarding
I
by any means. So I do agree with you.
I want to run on the assumption that it's some kind of deceit towards Ashley.
Yeah.
But I think that the track record for Sage thus far has been that the writers just kind of tell you that, oh, she had it planned all along. But then if you actually think about it, it's like there's no way that's true. Like they just kind of made this up as like, oh, yep, she ended up on the top out of pure skill and deception and schemes. When really it's just like, no, it's just like you wrote her in that spot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe they've kind of learned from the complaints that people had from season 4, us included, that Sage should really have some kind of like, upper echelon intelligence that they portray her to have, right? This is supposed to be the smartest person in the world. Yeah. I want to see some crazy levels of scheming, and we haven't seen it. So maybe that'll come in some kind of reveal. But yeah, I think if what she's saying and what she's admitting to Ashley is the truth, I really dislike it. I don't think it's compelling at all to an otherwise compelling character. So a little disappointing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm curious, what was your thoughts on the terror section? Because honestly, that was the section that I thought would be a little funny, but ended up being the most annoying and unearned section for me.
Yeah, I like it more on paper, I think, than I do in execution.
Yeah.
Before that section, I was kind of under the impression that this was going to be an episode that was about everyone but the boys, which I thought would have been good for where we are in the show right now, which is now 3 episodes from the finale, or finale included. So I thought kind of having this episode be like a B-plots centric episode of like, we're going to cut to every single side character. We're going to do like their wrap up almost, because God willing, the show's moving from here on out. We have 3 hours left of this television series. Shit's got to start really going down. And I feel like this might have worked as like the calm before the storm. We're going to worry about the boys in the next 3. Then we get the boys and it was like, okay, like I guess it's just a structure change. We're not really doing the like, not bottle episode, but B-plot episode that I kind of thought it was going to be. And nothing super compelling happens with the boys. I think the POV is funny for like a second as a gimmick of just like, oh, that's fun. They're using the dog or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it goes on a little bit too long. In our like very brief discussion before we started recording, you were talking about the already memed Homelander dream sequence, which the first time is very funny. And then after that, it just gets a little obnoxious. Terror like is not a character or whatever. It's just kind of like an excuse for more like sex fart jokes.
Yeah.
But I do like the way that it resolves. I'm like coin flip on it, because part of it I really like and part of it I really don't like. The part I don't like is exactly what you said, that Butcher and Huey's like resolution feels a little forced to me.
Yeah.
Especially because I still don't buy that Butcher is not the villain of the show. I think like that's what we're leading to, is a Butcher big bad. So this seems like, to me, if that prediction's correct, an unnecessary step in the other direction, very close to the finish line. The part I do like, though, is just the way that the show goes about presenting a little bit of heart for Butcher at the last second here. Just to show that, this is a cold, conniving bastard of a character. Like he's killed his father. He's killed people that are very close to him. He's betrayed. He has done some heinous shit, right? He's really gone down in the gutter with the rats he's trying to slay here. And I just love the little notion of just like Huey looking at him and seeing like, even this guy has good qualities. He loves his dog. Something very simple. It's not like it's never been done before, but it works for me. And maybe that's because, I'm an animal lover or whatever, but I think it kind of harkens back to just like the best of this guy. And I like that beat in this place. It's one of the first times in this season that I felt like, yes, this is in the right spot in the story. For this section to come along, like one last little like, oh, Butcher, before we hate him again, which I think is where this is going. So I like that. But generally speaking, I think that segment is pretty uninteresting. It's probably the most uninteresting part of the episode for me.
Yeah.
But not like terribly offended by it,
Yeah, for me it felt as, like I said, I used the word unearned,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt like we just didn't need to. It felt like filler, honestly.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot of what we were doing here we did last episode. That was like the whole point of last episode. Oh, they're mad at each other. We're trying to resolve our problems.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're resolving our problems again and more.
And you're not alone on that view. I think like the general consensus I've been seeing from people online is that this feels like a filler episode.
Yeah.
Which I agree with on the boys part of this episode.
Yeah.
I think the rest of it's important because, like I said, I think it's just a final kind of hooray for these last couple side characters that we have left. None of it is. I think Firecracker kind of gets like the serious part of the episode. Like we're actually gonna really try and make Firecracker a character, and then I think you have someone like the Deep, who's always going to be a joke, and we can like play that for laughs. Which is why I don't think we necessarily need the terror segment, is because I think that's supposed to kind of be like the comedic relief of the episode.
Yeah.
Like we already had it. It's already pretty funny. There's like some good bits in here outside of that, and yeah, I mean, I guess now we're kind of orbiting around the final, I think, subplot of the episode, which is Soldier Boy and Homelander.
Yeah.
So how did that part of the episode work for you? Because that's our big guest appearances and supernatural reunion. There's a lot of big moments in this segment.
Yeah, so the cameos I could do without personally.
Mhm.
It was just like felt okay. Like there was like
Yeah.
no reason for them. And I didn't find it particularly funny, to have Seth Rogen and the boys in there. The boys.
Oh, that's the name of the show.
Oh my god, they said the thing. Right, but I could do without that. I liked Mr. Marathon though. I liked Mr. Marathon. I liked the setup of that scene. How they're waiting for bomb site, and it's like, no, we're actually trying to capture a Homelander here. The stuff with Soldier Boy though, I'm like weirdly not into, because again, I'm gonna use the word unearned. I don't understand why he would switch up suddenly and be like, "Oh, I actually really love Homelander."
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, yeah.
Me neither.
So I, because he's a very apathetic person, and I saw for the first time we saw a little bit of vulnerability from him last episode. So maybe that's the continuation of that vulnerability, that softer side beginning to finally crack and show.
Yeah.
Right. So that could be that, but right here, right now, feels so weird to me. It feels like, y'all were just at each other's throats. Like, you were saying how like Homelander's a disgusting and person, and he's just like this abomination, this lab grown child, and Soldier Boy has said that countlessly. So to then him to switch up like that last second and be like, no, he's still my son.
It's weird.
It felt weird.
I agree. That did really kind of bug me. I almost felt like I had missed something. And now hearing you say that kind of validates the thought that I didn't, and that this is just a very strange, sudden character shift for Soldier Boy. Because you're right. Like, they really established that he does not like Homelander. I think they're even still running with that a little bit, that like he does not like Homelander. So is it like he wants the joy of beating him man to man or something like that? Or like, is this real? Is this genuine? Like he actually cares? And if he does, like, I don't know where that came from. Because he, one episode ago, locked him in a radioactive vault, which is not to kill him, but it's to like punish him, just to tell you, like, I don't give a shit about you. You're not getting this V1. And I kind of thought him accompanying him on the journey was still in the attempt of like, yeah, I'm your buddy, but like if we get this, I'm taking the V1. Like you're not fucking getting it, bozo. That's kind of how I read what was happening, and now I don't know. Like, does he want a real relationship with Homelander? Does he want to give him the V1? And if that's the case, I don't know where that came from. It just feels very out of nowhere for me. So I agree. I think the segment's fun. I think Anthony Starr is so great in the role. I don't think Homelander's writing has been particularly strong this season. He feels a lot less intimidating. But he does feel very like season one, kind of like witty. again, which I think is very refreshing. Like, he's got some hilarious lines in this episode. And I think just the way that Anthony Starr is able to play this guy as like a time bomb and, just kind of like have these little, like, you shut up, and just like really make everyone like terrified is so great. And it's got like awesome comedic timing. So I like him. And I also think Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy is one of my favorite castings of the whole show.
Yeah.
I love Anthony Starr. I really like, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Who plays the Deep? Cameron? Something?
Oh, yeah, I forget.
Oh,
To be
jeez.
honest, I
Sorry,
forget.
audience. I know his name. I'm forgetting
Yeah, I'll
at the
look it
moment.
up.
Vinny's going to Google it. But I really like Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy. I think he gets just the right amount of humor in there. I think he can be kind of like big and macho in the way that's comedic, but also kind of tragically sad as like a man from a bygone era.
Yeah.
I think the way they wrote the character in the first place is just being like a grittier Captain America is a lot of fun. He's just great, and it's kind of a shame that I think they might be like doing a character assassination on him, because season 3 it was really like kind of propelled by him, and he really like kind of cemented a place in this show's main cast for me. So
Yeah,
a shame.
yeah. Like, by the way, I looked it up. Chase Crawford.
Chase Crawford.
He
Sorry,
plays
Chase
the-
Crawford.
Yeah, if you're watching,
Yeah.
we love you. I apologize.
You're great as the Deep.
Yeah. So, character assassination.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there. In season 3, he was my favorite part of season 3. Like, such a villain. Like, really, honestly, outshined Homelander in a lot of regards in season 3. So much of the plot was pushed, like, with his momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So I really loved his character as a whole in season 3, character-wise, character work, plot-wise, all of that, thematically. I'm not gonna lie, in season 5, I could do without him. I feel like they brought it back because they knew that people were fans of Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
But realistically, they're not really doing much with him right now. That is interesting.
Yeah.
They're trying to do the father-son stuff, but as we're saying here, it's not really working. So
Yeah, see, that's the other thing with this being like a final season, and just one more thing that kind of feels off about it is it's a reintroduction in this case, but from season 4, the introduction of new characters this late in the game feels very strange to me.
yeah,
David Diggs' character, I don't really know his character's name because he's been given very little time. Allfather, maybe? That's kind of a
Yeah,
shot in the dark, but is that
that's his
it?
name.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice,
I
nailed
believe
it.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know what he's doing here either. Like there's a couple characters in here that I'm just sort of thinking like I don't know what your role in the story is. Like I really thought last season this is gonna be the boys trying to kill Homelander season. That's what the whole season's gonna be about. And like yeah, but kind of no also because it's also sort of about Soldier Boy and Homelander. It's about like the crumbling of the Seven, like all these just like bozos and how it's beginning to like collapse. It's about Frenchie and Kimiko and Butcher and Ryan and Homelander and Stan Edgar and Homelander. I feel like there's too many things going on that like are not resolved, and it gives me last season of Stranger Things, last season of Game of Thrones vibes a little bit right now. I've got the warning signals going off of like too many plots, too many plots.
Yeah.
And I'm like something here is gonna get messed up. We're gonna have a character assassination. We're gonna have an unsatisfying death, loose plot thread. One of those things. I'm getting right to the point where I'm like, it might be inevitable. Unless there's some big bomb drop in the next episode. Like we kill somebody, we really tie up a loose end, or have some kind of huge status quo shift, which I think we are so ready for. Like we're there, dude. We're at the end. So like I want to see the end game that I've been promised for this entire show. And yeah, man, I just don't know. I feel worried because I feel like I should have a clear idea of escalation in the next episode. And realistically, right now, I think next episode's going to be like, okay, they convene on bomb site. They're going to get the V1.
Yeah.
And then the final episode, or the penultimate episode, is going to be Homelander gets the V1 and he berserks for the whole episode is gonna be crazy, and then he's gonna die at the end, and then the last episode is gonna be the wrap up, and probably Huey killing Butcher.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it. You know, like I know that
Yeah.
sounds cool. They'll be cool. I'm sure there's gonna be some great sequences here and there.
But there's been no momentum towards that.
Right.
It's just been like everyone has known that that was going to be the conclusion. But for that to be satisfying, we need like a forward momentum, and this season has had none of that.
I think it's tension.
Yeah.
I think there's a lack of tension in the season
Yeah.
overall. And this episode, even though I really enjoyed it in a vacuum,
Yeah.
I think it really brings back some of the character work that was really lacking for me. And it gives it to characters that I didn't even think needed the character work, but I'm happy they got it.
Yeah.
Like me actually caring about Firecracker, the new noir, that's awesome. Like I never thought I would give a shit about these two characters, and I do. And it's kind of a shame that we waited this long to give it to Firecracker, especially because of her death at the end of the episode. But I think it's a really nice send off, and I think it's so good, surprisingly, that it makes me worry. Like, I don't know. Like, are we gonna be able to do this for everybody? You know, like, are we gonna be able to do as good a send off for as we had for Firecracker for everybody else? Like A-Train's, I don't even think was as impactful as this one. I like the beat that he dodges that woman in episode 1, and it's like, oh wow, full circle. You know, he's learned not to just like run through everybody, which is a quite literal theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just I don't know. I worry because I have that Stranger Things, Game of Thrones like bad endings in mind. Even though I don't hate the ending of Stranger Things, there's characters in there that I'm like, damn. Like, we really did not get what we needed from them, and that kind of sucks. Like, I wanted a little bit more. So I hope that the show's able to kind of pull through with it. But I don't know. I feel a little...
Yeah, so where I don't have much else to talk about this episode, but piggybacking off of that, let's talk about just the finale, our thoughts of the finale. Because predictions, because here's the thing, right? Like you're saying, they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's true, there's not a lot of momentum. So in the trailer, we have Homelander in the Oval Office.
Yep.
That still needs to happen. Does he become president, or does he just like overtake the White House, right? So we still have to see that. There's a part in the trailer that looks like Homelander takes V1, right?
Yeah. Like, it looks like he does get it.
Yeah, so that, right? Butcher, what's going on with that? Like Butcher V versus Homelander, Butcher versus the boys. Those are like already 3 major beats that has not even been foreshadowed.
No,
aside
zero.
from maybe, aside from maybe, well, obviously, like the V1 has been built up. Like, okay, they're gonna get it, they're right, and him getting into the office has been kind of foreshadowed, I guess, with like the internment camps and
well, it's this idea that he wants to be like perceived as a god.
Yeah.
So like, who's gonna stand above him? The president? No. Like, he's got to take that role. He's got to take it as. I think he's trying to seize control from every possible angle, as a religious leader, a political leader, a military leader, like all of this shit.
Yeah. The big thing for me too, if we only have 3 episodes, though, also the resolution, like the falling action of like, okay, so the big plot points: Butcher dies, Homelander dies, probably the boys. Who knows if they're gonna survive or die? And they have mentioned on the episodes prior that what are we gonna do after all the Supes are killed, right? Stan Edgar has that whole speech that capitalism is just gonna take over again, and it's gonna, capitalism is gonna just replace Supes with another product, with another thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions of the falling action of, we could probably dedicate an entire episode of just like 20 years later. Like, what happens after all of this? And I think that's almost just as important.
Yeah, I don't know I think really where I'm landing on is I don't know. I kind of know the plot beats. I don't know if this is going to be an optimist's ending or a pessimist ending.
Yeah.
Which I think is frustrating because normally you can kind of tell by this point.
Hmm.
Eric Kripke as a writer is, I mean, listen, I'll give him a point because he's been very on the nose with the predictions. He's gotten a lot right. There's a lot of shit that's very relevant that's coming up in the show that was not really relevant at the time of writing these scripts.
Yeah.
So I give him some points for that. I don't really know if he has too much deep things to say about the state of the world, though. He seems like a guy who the entire show's just kind of been, ironically, a little bit like Garth Ennis's comics, who's the creator of the Boys comics. Just very like, damn, everything sucks. Like,
Very apathetic.
capitalism is bad. Everybody's a sexual deviant. Like, we should just fucking kill each other. Like, this shit sucks, you know? So that's like not really compelling to me. And I think the universal opinion on the Boys comic is that it is not good. It's very like me inserting my OC to kill Superman comic, you know, which is like not super compelling. And I think the show has taken a lot of great steps into making these people really characters. But I'm worried that it's going to go that same kind of route at the end where it's like, oh, yep, fight all you want. It's pointless against the system. You're going to, you know, and I just don't jive with that. I don't feel like this is a show that earned that and was able to like build enough of a cohesive like theme or through line about like people, America, capitalism, our government, you know, authoritarianism, any of that shit. It's broaching the topics, but not enough for me to come to some like, you know, big conclusion at the end where it's like, oh, actually, like we're a smart political show now. It's like, no, you aren't. You know, so like I want to know what the takeaway from the show is going to be.
Yeah.
And that I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to be left with at the end of this show in terms of a message that isn't just like, yep, we killed Homelander or like Homelander won or whatever. Like either way, I don't know if the show has like really said anything to me. And I want to know what it's going to say. That's really my biggest like concern and hope for the ending is just, curiosity. I want to know.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll
we'll
wait and
see.
What in terms of plot? Do you kind of agree with like my general? And I don't think I'm the first person to kind of have this prediction, but just kind of the idea of like we're gonna get the Homelander resolution, then the Butcher resolution.
I 100% think that's gonna happen. From my knowledge, that's what happens in the comic books too. So, yeah, I you know I do want them to throw a wrench in there.
Yeah,
We still have Ryan. Ryan's somewhere out there.
right. Like, what the hell is he gonna have to play in this finale?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, I really, and this is a positive concern. I don't know how they're going to kill Homelander or if they're going to kill Homelander.
Yeah.
That's really great. I like that because normally I feel like with this show, it would be like, we've got the virus. And I'd be like, all right, the virus is going to kill Homelander. And that's going to be the end of things. Now it could be the virus. It could be Soldier Boy. It could be Ryan. It could be Butcher. Maybe it could be Huey and Starlight. It could be everybody. It could be fucking the Deep, like Scal said, you know, a couple episodes ago. Maybe the Deep drowns him. Like any of that is kind of a possibility. And that's very exciting to me. I think that's really cool. Like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in a good way. But that's not how I feel about most plot points. You know? So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I also agree. I think that is a good thing. I think they could go a lot of different ways, and depending on Homelander's resolution, can be it can tell a different theme.
Yes.
And I think that's a beautiful thing because honestly, no matter what direction you go, it can be really interesting. I think it might be a Fire Lord Ozai type of thing where he's stripped of his powers and he just is forced to live as like a literal normal, like most likely scrawny, maybe disabled like person. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
that does kind of fit the Amazon agenda of like what's the worst thing that can happen to this guy? Now he's a regular man in the middle class, and they send him out there. Ah! You know, it's like the scariest ending of all time. I think I really like the idea of him getting stripped of his powers. I think that's a cool resolution for Homelander because he's someone who's his entire personality is totally dependent on his physical attributes, and if you strip that from him, it is almost like a fate worse than death. Like I think a Homelander
Yeah.
killing himself because he doesn't have his powers ending is maybe peak question mark. I don't know. It depends how they portray it. If they go that way at all, yeah, I'm super excited to see how that wraps up.
I'm excited too. I just hope they don't, that's a scenario where they can fumble pretty bad.
They could
but
totally fumble.
They could also go in so many other directions where I think a lot of people would be satisfied. I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
I'd be satisfied with maybe like an ending where he's fucking locked in like the Earth's core in like one of those uranium chambers. And like he's just there forever and forever, like forever being tortured by that uranium. Like that could be cool too. I think that is similar in like a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would really bug me is, again, like I said, like the pessimist ending where it's like Homelander wins. Like I don't think I would like that. I kind of would understand the intent behind it, because this is a show that is, it's very on the left. It's very against what's happening currently in politics, and I feel like it's not a super hopeful time from that viewpoint. So maybe it's going to play the very negative ending, but I don't know. I think that feels like a little. I don't want to say overplayed at this point, but just like a little redundant. Like do we need that? Do we need like another deflation in the world right now? Like maybe I don't know. I'm a hope core guy.
Totally not. I've been saying this a lot when it comes to. I mean, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but I'm very politically involved, and a big conversation point that I talked with Zach on Beef Season 2 is Beef has like a huge anti-capitalist like through line. But the problem with a lot of political shows is they're usually funded by
mega corporations.
Yeah, they're usually funded by mega corporations like The Boys, Amazon, or like they're funded by the elites, quote unquote, and I don't know if it's the lack of. I don't know if it's that or if it's honestly the lack of real political like awareness within these writers who are like, I need to say something, but they're not actually like. Basically, sorry, I'm running off from my topic. What I'm saying is my complaint with the Beef and a lot of these fucking TV shows and movies that come out nowadays that are trying to say something, they actually have like no solution or no like they don't feel confident enough to be like, this is bad, let's do this.
Right.
Instead, it's like, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but these guys are also really bad, so we have to do this as like a very centrist, like gray middle point construction.
You're centrist hating. I was trying to figure out where you were going with this.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I am right now. I can't lie, because like that is pessimism of like, oh no, nothing's gonna change. Like we can't do anything. It's gonna be all bad. But these guys over here are bad too. And
it gets very like incel a little bit. I understand what you're saying. It gets very like the world is just a fucking dark and miserable place. No matter what you do, no matter what side you go to, it's two wings on the same bird. It gets very like cringy. Nothing ever happens, dude. There you go. We should just end it right there. Nothing ever happens. But yeah, true. That is kind of like the new like chud viewpoint. Yeah. And I don't want the boys to continue down that path. And I think we bring up a relevant point that, this is a show that is funded by a mega corporation and is kind of doing a little loop-de-loop around the topic of like, hey, maybe giant mega corporations are really bad. But it can't ever like really commit to it because then all the funding would get pulled. Yeah. So,
and I think if they go a pessimist ending, that's like what Amazon wants. They want you to be like, look, you can't do anything.
But the warehouse gives you great benefits, actually. So if you just come to work for us, all your problems will be gone.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, Homelander is going to lose his powers, and then he's going to be working in an Amazon warehouse.
Yes.
But then he
finds love.
Finds love. He's like, oh my God, this is actually a beautiful job. I love it here. And that's his redemption arc. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. If you just work for a big corporation, you could actually work your way to redemption no matter what you've done. Yeah. That's the message.
Totally. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how The Voice is going to end.
All right. So I have one last thing that I want to talk about with you. We kind of broached the subject a little bit here and there, but I think this would be fun to do up until the resolution of the show from here on out for these episodes to conclude. I want to know your death predictions for this show. We have a lot of characters, big ensemble. We're starting to chip down at it a tiny, tiny bit. Who do you think's next on the chopping block, Vinny?
Okay. Frenchie dies.
Bam. Bonjour, no, I'm dying.
Yeah. Frenchie's definitely dying. Butcher is definitely dying.
Why do you say Frenchie? I'm curious.
Because they have been hamming it up. They've been hamming it up for so long. Like, even last episode, they have, like, that Kimiko Frenchie moment of, like, love not, breakup.
Right.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, they did the thing from Stranger Things again where they're like, let's get unmarried but unbreak up or whatever. Some stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Frenchie's dead. They're gonna have this whole moment where it's like, oh my god, the sweet guy.
Yeah.
Forget about what the actor was doing.
Okay.
Forget about what the actor was doing. But the character, right? Oh, he's so sweet, and like Kimiko's gonna cry. It's gonna be mon amour. Like, this is what I did for you all this time, right? So Kimiko's.
He gets his redemption.
She's gonna go Super Saiyan. She's gonna go claw Homelander's face out. Eat Butcher's like worms that are coming out of his
she pulls like a Mark from Invincible. She's just whipping the worms out. Oh, she's getting his worms ripped out. Yeah, probably.
Yep. And yeah, it's gonna be a focus on Kimiko because I think Kimiko and Starlight are gonna survive.
Okay.
I think they represent, in an optimistic way, they represent like hope, quote unquote, like what they've been building up for.
I like that.
I think it's gotten very redundant with Starlight.
Me
like
too.
With the whole, like, obviously they're trying to like pull these like political things with the Starlighters, but it's gotten like so redundant of like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, like she doesn't actually. You get what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
they symbolize hope within the soups.
I like that idea. I kind of like the idea of the only people that survive from the boys are the girls. I think that's really fun. So I could totally jive with that.
I think Mother's Milk is gonna survive.
Ooh, interesting.
And there's a 50-50 chance that Huey survives.
You think Huey's like on the chopping block potentially?
I think that. Actually, no.
I don't see it.
No, Huey will definitely survive. Because he should have a happy ending with Annie.
True.
He should. Yeah. That's just I think if we went through all this trouble again, that's another redundant plot point of like, no, I'm hurting you. No, it's fine. I love you. Right.
Yeah.
And like they're breaking it off and they're back together.
They're going to unbreak up in the season finale.
Like after all that, just let them fucking have a house in the middle of the Midwest and like, you know, like kids in a fucking acre of land and, you know, have a happy home or whatever. White picket fence.
They're going to live with those mutant sheep from season 4.
Yeah, exactly.
The soup sheep.
Yeah, so I think Huey actually should survive, but they should allow that. I think they should.
Now, are we running with the Homelander lives theory? Lives depowered?
Low key, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna suffer a death greater than or
a fate worse than death.
Yes.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I think he might die. I don't know though, but they love him, and everyone loves Anthony Starr in this role, so they might want to leave the door open. Like maybe, you know, but I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know. I agree with you though. I think all those are really good picks. What about the Deep?
Oh,
the Deep and Noir. Let's say. Let's bundle them together. The boys.
Yeah. So Noir, I think might be their in. Like the boys, that might be their mole. You know, that's in the
new A train.
Yeah, the new A train. I think he's gonna play a role like that. The Deep, low key, I think the Deep's gonna die in like the most boys way possible.
Yeah.
Like they're just gonna kill him off in like a very funny way.
He's gonna get like fucked to death by dolphins or something stupid. That's probably what's gonna be.
Exactly.
Which will be hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, oh man, he's so great. I really do love the Deep.
Yeah.
I guess the last character that I really have, it's super up in the air because I don't know what they're trying to build towards with them. Sister Sage. What do you think?
Yeah. I think she, like, that's the thing. It's like what the kind of bringing back what we said before. She could be the most interesting character ever, but now it's like, that's her plan?
I think it's
her
too
plan
late.
is like, oh, I'm going to read books all day? Like, what?
I just want to read Catcher in the Rye. That's
Yeah.
my whole plan.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Millions must die for Catcher in the Rye.
yeah, like it's just like kind of ridiculous. I don't think she's gonna die though. I think she's kind of
She'll be in the spinoff probably.
yeah.
Well, they canceled Gen V.
They're doing The Boys New Mexico though,
Oh.
or just I think it's The Boys Mexico, just simply.
De Hermanos.
Yeah.
No, it's not Hermanos. What's boys in Spanish?
I have no idea.
Damn it. Chicos. The Chicos. Los Chicos.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
cool.
Chicos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in pretty soon for the review of Los Chicos when that releases on Amazon Prime Spain or Mexico. Anyway, we've been rambling, dude. We've been going far too long.
We've been rambling for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think the main review was over. Like
It was
20
over
minutes ago.
an hour ago. You could have clicked off minute 5. But if you stuck around, folks, thank you very much. Do you have any last things you want to say, Vinny?
Not really. I think a lot. It just kind of we could talk in circles about predictions and theories, but yeah, that's really it. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think this episode has kind of moved me from being like this season's kind of a slog to like maybe, you know, like this could be cool. So which is nice. That's a good feeling to have. I feel pretty positive. Vinny, you feel overall positive? Would you say?
I feel not. No, I wouldn't say positive.
You feel medium positive.
Yeah, but I think with the amount of time that we've spent with the show, I am excited regardless for the end.
Yeah, I'm eager, I guess.
Yes.
More than like I think it's going to be amazing. I think at the very least it'll be fun. Hopefully, God willing.
Yeah.
So that's that, folks. That was our review of season 5, episode 5 of The Boys. We will be back next week, hopefully with a 3rd chair, maybe even a 4th chair, as the rest of the guys catch up to us. Super excited to cover these next 3 episodes, and if you enjoyed this content, we make a ton of other stuff on other media coming out all over the place. We upload pretty much daily, so make sure to subscribe. And with that, I've been Sean Villa.
And I've been Vinny Albano.
And we'll see you next week.
This is the culture.